So what's up, Audiophiles? I'm here, Gary at Audiophile Zone, and I'm here with my compatriot, Jim Kaplan, the publisher of Record Collector News. What's up, Jim?
Everything's good. How are you, Gary?
Well, same old crap, you know. It's been a kind of a crummy day, but we're here making a recording, so this is all good.
Yeah.
First thing, this is going to be the most valuable tip of the day for a lot of these record guys. How do you correctly open a record? Now, let me show you my method. You take a record, you stick your finger along the edge. This is actually an excellent album on the old Delmark label. And you either cut your finger and bleed all over the record, or you doesn't go through. Then you take out something to poke it with, and then you go on and you screw up the record. So this is obviously not the right way. Show me your method.
Now, I learned this when I was a little kid. I mean,
okay, so I'm a little behind the times. What can I say?
Well, here's a record. I just happen to have.
Oh yeah.
Sealed. It's not open. Oh, I hope this works. It's called Friction.
Okay.
It's called Friction, and you need a pair of Levi's.
Okay.
Levi's work better, and so here's the Levi's, and you take friction. There you go. And that, oh yeah, it's completely done. It's open now.
And you didn't damage anything, the cellophane or nothing. So that's the mint way to do it.
Shrink is still on it perfectly. Friction. That's all it is.
Now, what's the situation if you're not wearing pants?
That could be a little difficult.
Okay.
but you know, eventually it might work.
Eventually, before
I'm not saying there would be less painful than doing it with your fingernail, though.
Okay. All right. So that's your tip for the day.
Yeah.
That is the correct way of opening a mint record. Don't do like I do and get your fingers all cut up. All right. So we're going to talk about record collector news.
Yeah.
So as you know, Jim Kaplan is the publisher of Record Collector News. And by the way, if you want to get a hold of either of us, the scroll below has our contact information. I've got my website and Jim's email address. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, what happened to Jim's beautiful website? And we're going to talk about that. Yeah. It's a horrifying story. And we'll be talking about that in another video. But let's talk about some happier things. Let's talk about why Keith Richard is reading Record Collector News in this picture.
Okay. Here's a short story that I'll make long for you. Harvey Kubernick, who writes pretty much all of the cover stories for the paper, has been around for a very long time. And Harvey was acquainted with Charlie Watts. And when the Rolling Stones were in Los Angeles before a tour that started in San Diego, what was this, 6 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, they were rehearsing at a studio in North Hollywood, California. And Charlie Watts asked Harvey Kubernick to get him some records. Harvey did it. And Harvey also handed Charlie a stack of Record Collector News with that cover with the old
yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So next thing I know, Keith Richards is on his bus from Los Angeles down to San Diego on a Friday night, and my internet, my email starts blowing up. Keith posted that on Twitter, Facebook, all of his social media. He posted that picture. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
So free advertisement.
Unbelievable. Nicest, sweetest person in the world, as far as I'm concerned. To do that, come on, that's unbelievably cool. Really.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing.
Yeah, super cool. Amazing. It's a great picture and blah, blah, blah. I just really, going to tell you, it's very nice.
Is he a subscriber now?
Yeah. He gets it pretty much psychically, though. Oh. I'm not sure exactly.
By the way, Record Collector News is distributed or should be distributed at all the finer record stores. And if your local record store is not getting this, they should contact Jim.
Yeah, there's my
And, you know,
email, and
you
we're
are
happy.
nuts. You are nuts if you're not getting this magazine. What's basically the format? What's in these things?
Well, it's, we do cover stories that are related to what kind of collectible might be interesting right now. I mean, we've got our current issue has Elvis on the cover, and there's a lot of Elvis stuff going on, and the movie was fantastic. But our next cover is Bob Marley. It's at the printer right now. So we come out 7 times a year, cover stories that are interesting to record collectors, whether it's jazz. Inside, we have editorial on many different genres of music and collecting. But the main key to the paper is that we're about record stores. And we have about 100 record stores that advertise with us. So the main thing we try to do is put people into record stores, buying records, having a good time. I mean, to me, a record store is it's like Cheers. You walk in, hey, Jim. So
The Record Collector News is one of the only magazines I actually read the ads because I can find out where the cool record stores are and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But let's look at the an issue from the past. Okay, this Beach Boys issue. So what's the deal with this one?
that was just a nice issue. They gave us the artwork. It was a July issue. We thought it was a great summer issue, and Harvey had an interview with Brian Wilson. So
Wow.
great picture. Yeah, it was a great picture.
Yeah, they look like kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Not anymore.
crazy.
Yeah. So it's just been a lot of fun. We get, here's a Beatles cover. The Beatles gave us this, Apple Corps gave us this photo here. Oh, here we go. This is on
Oh, wow.
yeah. So we're very fortunate, and it's a lot of fun. But the main thing is we want to put people into record stores buying records, and even online, buy records online from record stores. A lot of people are out in the middle of nowhere, and they don't have a lot of stores. They're not in Los Angeles, where we've got phenomenal record stores, just fantastic picking. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, let's go to another. Here's your Elvis issue that you're mentioning.
Yeah.
What's the scoop on this one?
Well, they gave us the artwork, and they don't give stuff away for.
Yeah, I was shocked when you said that. I mean,
Yeah.
They're all about monetizing Elvis's image. I mean, they're making a fortune off of it.
And then they gave us that, so that was just really cool. And
Yeah, I understand he's still one of the top selling images in the market, and one of the biggest. So yeah, that's great, and it's a great picture.
Classic rock and all of this old rock is just not dying. It's just really still strong.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some future videos. We're going to be doing some deeper dives into the recording process. And Elvis, I remember he did a lot of stuff on the Westrex 3D, which is with tube equipment, which sounds fantastic.
Right.
Still way better than what they're well, it's a matter of opinion, honestly. But as you know, nowadays everything's mostly recorded in digital and then cut to vinyl.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that anyway?
I mean, it's different. I'm not saying some of I love records that are coming out right now. There's a few artists that I really like. Cecile McLaurin Salvant. I heard her record, is it Diamonds and Daggers? I heard her record at an audio show on a $100,000 system, and it was out of this world. I own it on my system. It sounds out of this world. And I think it's 100% digital, from top to bottom.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I'm agnostic as far as the analog wars go. You, of course, know about this mobile fidelity war they had going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's all freaked out because they had a digital step. That honestly doesn't bother me that much as long as the product sounds good at the end, right?
Well, yeah, those records don't sound any different, but
Yeah, I guess part of it was a sense of betrayal that they didn't they kind of inferred that it was an all analog process from tape, and then they found out there's a digital intermediate step, blah blah blah.
it's like a lot of people, when they see me online, they think I could possibly be 5, 6 feet, 5'9". I could be tall. I could be a tall person. And I
Right.
let them go with that. I don't correct that at all.
Right. Exactly.
MoFi let us believe it was 100% a digital step. They didn't necessarily say that, but they let us believe it, and whatever. I mean, it's we kind of let them have it in this issue.
Do you think that controversy is going away slowly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. It's kind of was a tempest in a teapot. It's kind of gone now.
I think it was good for some people, terrible for MoFi, but ultimately they're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
People,
it's not like you have a whole lot of choice, with it coming out with new pressings.
yeah, I mean the pandemic is over, so people aren't just like consuming like they were. So that's
Right,
kind of bad.
right.
And then this is kind of not a great thing to have happen. But ultimately, they put out great stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
We're not getting paid for this, by the way. So,
no,
and
they've
of course, if anybody from MoFi is actually watching, then you could send us a few shekels. I mean, what's the
yeah,
difference, right?
no. I've been in business. It'll be my 15th anniversary in May,
Oh, wow.
and I've never done business with MoFi,
Yeah.
but I buy their records sometimes. I have some of their Dylan stuff. It's great. I purchased I have a MoFi Steely Dan Asia, and it's really old. It's from the 70s, and where it says MoFi is in red, and the cover's in black, and it's hard to see. And whoever priced, I bought it used, and whoever priced it missed the MoFi and priced it at $3.99. So
Speaking of collectible records, we're going to start talking about some of your favorite records, some of your favorite purchases lately.
yeah,
Let me go to the next slide. And this one, tell me about this.
okay. So this is, excuse me, a copy of Zappa in New York, and it's a record that came out, I believe, in '78. And Frank Zappa played the Saturday Night Live, and he wrote some music for the Saturday Night Live orchestra to play along, some of the brass in the band. And it went so well that he invited them to perform with him at some live concerts around Halloween, I believe, and New Year's in New York. And they did. And this is what they did. It's a fantastic live album. But when they originally put it out, it had a song on it called Punky's Whips, where Zappa really makes fun of a band called Angel and the lead singer, Punky Meadows. And it's really, really, really kind of junior high school potty humor, the way they go after this guy. And it turns out it's a real band, and they were on Warner Brothers, and so was Zappa. So when the record needed, after the first run, when it needed to be reprinted, Warner Brothers removed that song without talking to Frank about it, thus creating a giant lawsuit and thus creating a very collectible copy of this record. The
Right.
only time I've ever
You've been looking for this for quite a while.
yeah,
Being a confirmed Zappa head.
I am a Zappa fanatic. Sorry. The only other time I've seen this, well, the first time I saw it for sale, I think it was a promo copy and they wanted like $800 for it. And I recently found this one online from Europe. It's really clean as a whistle, and I got it all the way here for about $150.
Wow.
So yeah. So I'm thrilled. It's a great record, great live album. It's full of Zappa's what I call junior high potty humor, which ruins it for some people, but not me.
You're a case of arrested development, apparently.
Exactly. About age
It's
14,
okay. That's okay.
ninth grade was it for me.
Okay, we're gonna go to a more recent album, and this is
Yeah.
really an interesting release.
Where'd that one go? Oh, here it is. This one I love. Notes with Attachments, Pino Palladino and Blake Mills. Just a crazy, great sounding record. Really makes your system sound good. But the music is really, really deep, and it's good. It's just great. It's all different. Sometimes it's simple, and sometimes it's very complicated and thick. Sometimes there's the meter, the rhythms are really out of this world. It's just really, to me, there's a lot of percussion in it, and so I like that. I just really dig this record. I really like it.
For those that are not familiar with him, Pino Palladino is pretty famous studio musician, does a lot of things. He's done lots of stuff. But most the general public hasn't heard too much about him. Fantastic technician.
Yeah.
So, and this is something. What label is this on?
Yeah, it's on Impulse.
Impulse.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on Impulse. I'm pretty sure that the vinyl's out of stock right now, or out of print right now. It was.
Oh, yeah, figures.
Yeah, it was like $20 new. It was so
Yeah.
inexpensive, but it's a great record. Recorded at Sound City in Van Nuys, which I don't know if that's even there anymore. Is it?
Yeah, I don't. Well, this is recorded in 21, so
Yeah, it must be there. Yeah.
think it would be there. I should
Anyway,
find out a little bit more about that studio. We're going to be talking to a few record engineering guys that know like every location in LA. So
right.
that'll be interesting because the quality of the mastering has a lot to do with the sound, as
Oh,
you
yeah.
as you undoubtedly know.
Right.
Speaking of which, we got to talk about this hot stamper thing. What is the story with that?
Okay. Hot stampers. Think of it this way. Their records are even, let's say there's a Frank Zappa record, Waka Jawaka Hot Rats. That record was printed a few times at a few different places. Maybe there were
Right.
East Coast, and so a hot stamper is where you go out and you find 30 copies of Waka Jawaka Hot Rats, and you play them on I'm describing what a company called Better Records does. And I've purchased many hot stampers from Better Records. And this is what they do. They go out, they find 30 copies of Waka Jawaka Hot Rats. They play them on a very, very revealing system. Not necessarily a good sounding system, but one that's revealing. And they compare the records. And the ones they like the best, they check the stamper numbers in the runout groove on those. And they go, aha, this stamper sounds the best. Then they go and they find 20 of that stamper number, because those are not going to always sound exactly the same, not on that revealing of a system.
Right.
And the one that sounds the best is the hot stamper. They've gone through 40 records to find this one.
And then they sell the best copy. Is that the way it works?
I purchased Waka Jawaka Hot Rats. That was the first one I got from them. This is not they don't advertise with me anymore. They used to. And this is not an advertisement for them. But the first record I got from them was Frank Zappa, Waka Jawaka Hot Rats. They mailed it to me. I went into my collection. I pulled out my copy, which happens to be a white label promo. Beautiful. I played it. I thought to myself, there's no way their version is going to sound better than this one. No way. I got that copy. I put it on my stereos. Nothing changed. I dropped the needle. And within 20 seconds, the words came out of my mouth. What did they put on this? Like, what did they do to it? Did they put something on it? It was so much better. Really, really.
You think we get these guys to talk about the process?
I've seen him talk. Yeah, we could get him. We could get him.
right, that sounds good. It's a really interesting stuff, especially for sick record collectors. So
Yeah, and it pisses people off. You know, people don't understand. It causes a lot of commotion and stuff like that. You know, the prices that he gets are very high, and it's
well,
ridiculous.
it's a pain.
But for
I'd
the amount
imagine
of
so. It's a
difference,
pain in the ass. I'd never do that.
I said to myself, well, I could do that, and I tried.
Yeah, right.
There's no way.
Right.
There's no
No way.
way. No, he's been
Yeah.
doing it for 40 years. You know,
Yeah. Well,
he
I
he
get it.
he forgot the stuff that I don't even know yet. So anyway,
All right,
that's
we're gonna save some of this stuff for a future video.
cool.
We're gonna end this one now, and we're hope to have another talk with you soon.
Thanks, Gary.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Take care, man. Bye.